Hey guys, let's talk Fossil automatics. Are they worth your time? Are they worth your money? Let's do it. I have here the Fossil Townsman, one of Fossil's more popular automatic offerings, and we're going to hit the good, the bad, and the ugly, and ultimately conclude whether or not this watch is worth the dough. Go ahead and take this off here. Clean this up a little bit. So let's first hit Fossil, the brand, and Fossil watches and automatics in general. Fossil is a pretty well-known retail company. They have a little bit of brand presence. They make all kinds of things. They're not just a watchmaker. They make both watches and wallets and sunglasses and all kinds of products, including a pretty popular lineup of smart watches as well. The majority of their watches are actually quartz offerings, but they do actually have a pretty elaborate collection of skeletonized automatic watches as well, and this is exactly what I'm having here. This watch retails for about $200. With sales and with rebates, you can probably get this watch for, either from $100 to $150. So I'm going to go ahead and stick a $150 price tag on this watch on average and evaluate it based off of that. So let's talk about some of the specifications of this watch. Well, 44 millimeters in diameter. This is a large watch, kind of Fossil going on with this large watch trend. And so you can tell it's kind of quite enormously large for my, unfortunately, 6¼ inch here. It also has some pretty interesting features. Obviously the open heart, where you can see the escapement movement action. But it also does have a sub-seconds dial, which is kind of unique, as well as I wouldn't call this a GMT, it's more of a 24-hour indicator here, basically letting you know, your day and night, and AM and PM, if anything else. It cannot be set independently of the hours and minutes like a real GMT. Now, no hacking, as you can see here, the sub-seconds is still going. 40-hour power reserve. While Fossil doesn't really advertise the movement used in this watch, you can quite clearly tell that it is a Miyota movement here. So a workhorse movement that's used in very popular, cheaper Kickstarter watches, as well as a lot of other, Chinese knockoff kind of brands as well. So let's hit the goods. I think this is a good looking watch, first of all. It's ridiculously large, which is a big problem of mine. But from a macro level, it has very unique design cues. This overlay of the sub-seconds and the 24-hour sub-dials over this not overly done skeletonization. The movement, obviously it's cheaper movement, but this is a $150 watch, keep in mind. So, think about the movements of these Kickstarter watches that are $200, $300, $400, $500 with no brand recognition or anything, and it's just pure design fashion watch. Fossil is actually giving a very reasonable movement for the price. In fact, the new MVMT and Timex automatic watches ranging around $200-$300. So Fossil's already the cheapest of all the major Miyota movement type brand fashion watches. The dial is also quite impressive. You can see kind of this guilloche decoration here. Obviously, machine, not made by a craftsman or anything like that. But also a very solid dial in the background. Doesn't feel hollow. Feels very solid. I've had some cheaper watches in the $100 range where you can really feel the dial quality difference. What don't I like about this watch? Well, obviously, it's enormously large. Other than that, it's relatively an unrefined watch, and that's what you would expect of a $150 watch. Not much polishing, actually, nearly any polishing on the minute markers, You know, it almost feels kind of rustic, which maybe does even add to the look. You know, hands aren't well finished or anything like that. The case design, you know, very, what's the word, I guess? Unrefined is going to have to be the word here. Thick, very thick watch. You know, over 14 millimeters in thickness. Just doesn't look very refined. I mean, the finishing is not there. The edges, you know, if I can zoom in on here, just the way the lugs kind of, you know, connect with the rest of the case. You can tell it's not a very smooth transition. So it is definitely a watch to be seen at the macro level, not the micro level. So that's the issue here. The leather strap itself is genuine leather, which really means that it's the lowest grade of leather that there is. But it's not bad, and you do get a cute little signed Fossil buckle. So overall, what I think about this watch, I think Fossil's done a good job of keeping the price reasonable for an automatic watch here. I really do like that Fossil's kind of introducing automatic watches to the broader general public at a reasonable price. And so I do think this watch does have a pretty good amount of value proposition, just because of the sheer price point and what you're getting for it. So this is the Fossil Townsman, and I think Fossil Automatics is something worth getting into if you're just starting out looking at automatic mechanical watches.